Trump, all but endorsing Moore, saying, quote, "We don't need a liberal Democrat in that seat," end quote. It's just one of several headliners heading into the holiday. He also told me he has some reading to do, admitting Hillary Clinton's new book is still sitting on his desk. President Trump has his vision in how to handle Syria. How do you think he's doing with this versus what Senator Kaine is saying? When the cops caught up to Eames, he then shot himself in the head. Should we say a little prayer first? Here we go. All right, Tom, let's cue the music. I'm afraid. All right. Oh, do you have to wear the hat in order to get the good steak mix going?
You do. It really helps.
Is the hat key here?
It does.
It's a place where a love story, a swinging bridge, and a rock star all comes together.
Go!
Well,
Oh, we got technique of eating the hot dog first.
I'm the winner. I'm the winner. I ate all the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Look,
I slammed down that bun. I win.
Are you hitting the gym later?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take you down. Come on. No, JW.
Daggone, I'm
good
leaving
Friday.
a loser.
Yes.
We're all winners on Good Day Virginia.
We're all winners on Good Day Virginia. It plays out like a story best told around a campfire. Iron pots of gold, silver, and jewels all buried 6 feet under the ground. A classic tale that belongs on Ripley's infamous list of Believe It or Not. I had to hear the story for myself, and I stand here today now convinced something is out there in Bedford County, something that may be worth more than what's packed in a golden vault yet to be cracked open.
And I like the mystery.
It's a mystery that's baffled treasure hunters near and far. Tucked away behind the Johnson family farm and somewhere beyond this tree line in Bedford County, the hunt for pots of gold and jewels still as vibrant as these sunflowers overlooking this orchard full of apples. To this day, many believe it exists. A fortune buried beneath the Blue Ridge nearly 2 centuries ago. A fortune worth roughly $60 million today.
It would be nice to validate the story.
The story legendary. The story of a man and his treasure. It's the story of the famed Beale treasure.
There are a lot of naysayers with the Beale treasure, and they think that everybody who has studied the Beale treasure, that they're kooks and crazy people.
Ed Easterling has been walking these weed-infested trails for more than 2 decades in hopes to stumble upon Thomas Beale's Golden Vault, buried somewhere right here in Bedford County since 1819. The treasure tale has been told just as many times as the treasure trail has been hunted and dug up. As legend has it, Beale and his group of men traveled to Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1817 on a hunting expedition. They ended up finding gold, silver, and jewels, and lots of it.
They've calculated to be like a big floor freezer, about that wide and about 6 feet long, and that would have been able to hold all the treasure.
How much treasure? 2 loads equaling nearly 3,000 pounds of gold and more than 5,000 pounds of silver.
The passion that I have for the Beale treasure, if I were to be fortunate enough to find it, is the jewels that are involved in that, because at the time they were valued at $13,000, and they would be no telling how much they'd be worth. They possibly could be invaluable.
Easterling is said to be the best known expert on the Beale treasure. So how come he hasn't found it? Well, the same reason why nobody has reportedly found it. The first clue has yet to be cracked. Thomas Beale inscribed 3 codes known as the Beale ciphers. The first cryptogram is said to show the exact location of the treasure. The second cipher tells what is buried, and the third code tells who should have received the treasure if Beale's men never returned. Beale trusted one man with his codes. His name, Robert Morris from Lynchburg. Bill vanished after handing the codes to Morris. Codes 1 and 3 have never been decoded, but the second cipher was cracked when a man by the name of James Ward used the Declaration of Independence to unravel the code.
I know pretty much where it's at, and I didn't really want to let anybody know that I knew where it was at.
So you didn't want to go dig by yourself?
I didn't want to go dig. I didn't want to dig. If I found it, then if I found the buried treasure, then you wouldn't be here talking with me, would you?
It's no secret that everyone who thinks they know where the treasure is located is very tight-lipped about it. But if you really do believe that tens of millions of dollars are buried somewhere here in Bedford County, you might want to start here, inside this store at the Johnson Orchard. And then you might want to head down to this wine rack right over here and pick up this bottle of wine. And this is where you can find the only map of the treasure. And you might want to look into that shovel right there, because that's where you can start looking for the treasure anywhere between here and western Bedford County.
It couldn't be that many people out there fooled about it, trying to solve the mystery. Couldn't be that many.
Hoax? Don't use that word around here. Bill's treasure is arguably the most sought after on the planet. There are no dead ends, just plenty of obstacles. Even world-renowned treasure hunter Mel Fisher came up empty.
More money has been spent looking for the Beale treasure than any buried treasure in the world.
The mystery is as rich as the Beale treasure, and calls it the greatest treasure hunts of all time. Bedford County may be sitting on a pot of gold. Treasure or no treasure, the legend of Thomas Beale is something that will always be a treasure in itself.
Thomas Beale left us one of the greatest treasures that has not been found, and we're finding it every day in this lovely county, and people are coming to hunt for it and find out about it, and they're finding it too.
The legend of Thomas Beale. Is it real? Or is it all just a dream?
If it's like a dream, I'd rather keep on dreaming.
Well, as you heard, Danny Johnson would like to keep that mystery unsolved. For Ed Easterling, he is getting ready for another intense search in the near future. He believes he has pinpointed the treasure within a 12-mile radius. So the Beale treasure, it still begs the question, believe it or not?
I think I could go for some new jewels.
Yeah, I think
just
we all could at this point. You know, this story that I actually stumbled upon, that really hasn't been told in this area for decades.
You saw it on Unsolved Mysteries.
I saw it on Unsolved Mysteries back in the 1980s. And this has become, folks in England, the BBC have come over here. Even a film crew from Seoul, Korea has come over here and interviewed Danny Johnson and Ed Easterling about where this treasure has come. This is a global phenomenon that no one can figure out.
Now, there is a bit of an issue, though, because there are some cows that may be in the way.
There may be some cows.
Finding some treasure.
And don't forget, just don't start digging anywhere because you may be on somebody's property. Somebody was actually arrested for digging, and she dug into someone's grave.
Oh, wow. That's sad.
Yeah, not exactly good.
No.
Tim Kaine's rise to political power in Washington seemed to happen overnight. He became a household name when Hillary Clinton pegged him as her running mate for the 2016 presidential election. The son of a teacher and a welder, the 59-year-old Kaine, now on the tail end of a 6-year term. But he's not showing any signs of slowing down. In a rare impersonal visit in his office, Kaine opens up nearly a year after the night Donald Trump shocked the world.
City council, then mayor, then I've sort of not missed a rung on the ladder, local, state, federal. It's all been surprising. I never thought I'd be in politics.
Senator Tim Kaine's rise to political power has been a smooth ride, all up until the early morning hours of November 9th, 2016.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Some say it's the most shocking upset in our nation's history. And as we all know, Senator Kaine was on the losing end with Hillary Clinton, something that he's never had to deal with during his 2+ decades of public service. How much have you, throughout the year, relived what happened on election night? Do you relive it at all, or have you just kind of let it go?
Yeah, I made a decision that was, I think, emotionally smart. It might have been physically stupid, but it was just like to come right back to work. So election was Tuesday, conceded Wednesday morning. I was back here Monday.
It sounded like therapy for you, rather, so it doesn't disturb you at all anymore?
No, I mean, things disturb me. So if I see, if the administration does something I don't agree with, that I'm not happy about it, but that would be the case whether or not I was on the ticket.
Kaine admits the run for the Oval wore him down, and he needed a pick-me-up. That pick-me-up found its way to his desk and now sits in a frame, front and center, on the mantle in his office.
A little girl in Charlottesville wrote me a letter that came to my desk a few days after I'd gotten off the campaign trail with Hillary.
Wow.
And the letter said, "Dear Senator Kaine, I'm really sorry you're not vice president, but senator's still important. Can you help stop my classmates from being deported?"
Wow.
So as a 4th grader, this is what she was worried about. Wow. And she said, "I've done a drawing to give you some inspiration." And that was the drawing. So you can see she made me with more hair and thinner and younger.
There you go.
But the little cape and then be the hero. And I've been using this with my own staff and our training. Every day, if somebody calls and they're worried that their home will be foreclosed on, or it's a veteran who can't get a benefit, we have the opportunity, if we do our job right, we have the opportunity to be a hero for somebody today. And so that's put it up there as a little bit of motivation every day.
That motivation also gave him a chance to reflect on the wild ride of running on a presidential ticket.
It was an amazing experience. There hadn't been a working Virginia politician on a national ticket since 1840. So
the day we caught up with Senator Kaine, he was reassuring dreamers America is a place they can call home. And when he's not racing around the Capitol from hearing to hearing, Kaine spearheads the Health Committee. And he knows the days of Obamacare are numbered.
We can do a short-term bill that will be modest and bipartisan, that will stabilize the individual insurance markets, bring rates down, keep insurers from leaving. And if we could do that for about 2 years, then we could have a more significant discussion, Democrats and Republicans on the committee, about what are improvements that we can make. And I know we can find them.
Kaine doesn't shy away from calling out the president. Anything from Twitter to tax reform.
I would definitely, I wouldn't give it higher than a D. It hurts Virginia. There's a proposal to eliminate the deductibility of state and local taxes. That would really sock a lot of Virginians.
Since being in office, and I mean President Trump here, has he done things that are positive for you in what you're seeing that is happening?
I think his national security team is now very, very strong, although there were a lot of bad people on the team at the beginning, and it took about 6 months to clear them out, but now the team is real strong. I think his economic team has some really strong people on it. So he wants to work on a deal with Democrats and Republicans to do protection for dreamers, wants to do something about infrastructure, wants to do something on tax reform. If he follows through on wanting to do those things, we'll be able to find common cause. So
Senator Kaine feels the country's immediate future is as unpredictable as ever. As far as his future, well, let's just say becoming the leader of the free world is not exactly on his bucket list. So the taste of the presidential election didn't want you to taste it again?
It was, it was exciting. I'm glad I did it, but, I love being a public servant. Being on a national ticket, it's a little bit like being public property.
What do you want to be remembered for? What's the one thing that says, that's my legacy, that's what Senator Kaine is all about?
Just helping people. Helping people is good no matter where you're doing it. Here I can serve and live like a regular person in my neighborhood in Richmond, and everybody calls me Tim, and I don't have a big phalanx of people around me, and there's something pleasant about that.
And you might be wondering, does he have any downtime? Well, the senator did tell me he does manage to squeeze in some of his favorite outdoor activities, canoeing, cycling, and hiking, and of course a workout to start his day around 5 in the morning. He also told me he has some reading to do, admitting Hillary Clinton's new book is still sitting on his desk.